12th. Welcome, everyone. It's great to see so many people in attendance at our City Commission meeting, so thank you all for being here. We have a lot of business going on tonight. So with that, roll call, please.
Commissioner Abraham?
Present.
Commissioner Holland?
Present.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson?
Present.
Mayor Harless.
Okay, if everyone would please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. By Commissioner Holland.
Dear Lord, thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve the people of our city. Help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Give us a spirit of service. Help us see the humanity and dignity of those who disagree with us and to treat all persons with the reverence they deserve. We seek a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good and fitting, and the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City Manager, are there any additions or deletions?
Yes, we have one addition. It's under Municipal Orders 3C. It is to approve the Household Hazardous Waste Grant Award. This is an annual, no-cost grant that we receive.
Okay, thank you. Well, we're going to begin with swearing in of a new city police officer. So Chief Brandon Barnhill, if you will come forward and introduce him, and then Judge Deanna Henschel will be doing the official swearing in for us. So thank you both all for being here.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Commission. This evening I want to introduce to you our newest employee. His gentleman's name is Cody Strong. He is 27 years old. He is a native, although his most recent time has not been in this region. He is a native of Carterville, Illinois, a graduate of John A. Logan College, a 6-year member of the U.S. Army National Guard. Most recently, as I mentioned, was not here. He has spent the last 2 years working for the DeKalb County, Georgia Police Department. So we're certainly glad to get him back to this part of the country. Mr. Strong is engaged to Emily Vale. She's unable to be here tonight because of her new employment also in this region. But we're certainly glad to have him and his parents, Joseph and Kenneth Strong, which live in Paducah, here with us tonight to be sworn in.
Officer Strong, would you raise your right hand? If you agree with the following oath, would you please respond with "I do"? I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so long as I continue a citizen thereof. That I will endeavor, to the best of my ability, to detect and prosecute all gamblers and others violating the laws of gaming, and that I will faithfully execute, to the best of my ability, the office of police officer for the Paducah Police Department according to law, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office. And I do further solemnly swear and affirm that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this state, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state, nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending. So help me God.
I do.
Thank you.
Welcome, Cody, and I believe that your parents with you. So thank you. We really appreciate your service to the city. So thank you. Thank you, Judge Henschel, for being here with us.
I will quickly add one comment that obviously he's been a police officer, so he's able to go quickly to the street for us. Therefore, that's the timing difference between the three that you will meet next week and get sworn in also.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
All right, the next is we have a swearing in of our new Human Rights Commission, and we're very proud of those. I know Mayor Harless has worked really hard on making those appointments, and we appreciate the service that you all are serving with our community as well. So I'm going to ask you all if you would come up to the front. We have Shirley Thompson, Raphael Banks, Eve Silverstein, is that right? and Dan Patterson. So if you all would come over here, please. And Robert Shy is also serving on the Human Rights Commission but could not be here with us tonight. So you have been appointed by the City of Paducah Board of Commissioners to be a member of the City of Paducah Human Rights Commission. As a Human Rights Commissioner, you are charged with attending monthly meetings of the Human Rights Commission, upholding and facilitating compliance with state and local human rights laws, and to function in every capacity as permitted by law, being watchful and participating in human rights programs and projects which would benefit the City of Paducah and the citizens. Do each of you agree to abide by state and local laws and adhere to a code of ethics necessary to facilitate the protection of civil rights for citizens of the City of Paducah? And if you do, please answer, I do.
I do.
On behalf of the Paducah City Commission and the Human Rights Commission, you are hereby appointed as members of the City of Paducah Human Rights Commission. Congratulations, and thank you for your service.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Let me give you yours. Congratulations, Dan.
Welcome aboard. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Charlotte. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And now we have another group that we want to celebrate tonight, the Citizens Academy graduates. I believe this is our
Second group. This is our second group.
And so, Mark, take it away.
We have 21 participants in this year's group. They've had 8 sessions with directors and staff highlighting city operations. Highlights include they were a brave class. Almost half the class climbed the fire engine ladder at station number 5. EPW had a lot of staff involvement and gave an excellent trolley tour around Paducah, including taking the class to see pump station number 2. Did y'all get down in the hole? Wow, okay, so that's a pretty deep hole to get down into. Parks and Recreation impressed with a lot of activities and services, and they enjoyed going to the dispatch to get behind the E911, the story behind E911, and went to the police shooting simulator and met K9 Jr. Let's see, one comment from the participants is that it opened my eyes to see how much our city government does for us every day and all year long. I love the meeting. I love meeting the department heads and appreciate the time they took to plan and deliver thorough programs. We appreciate the committee or the commitment of the Academy and hope that they find a way to stay involved with the city. Now, we have a couple of people. Of course, there's cake out there, so we expect all the cake to be gone before you leave tonight, and a little water on the side. But we have a couple of folks who are interested in speaking for the class. We have Mike Reed and Brenda McElroy. If y'all would like to step up to the podium and make comments, please. Right up here.
I think you read one of my comments.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I was so impressed with everything our city government is doing. And I've lived here 29 years. I had no idea all this was going on. I feel a lot better about my tax dollars. I was impressed that our professionals are professionals. They did a great job of showing us what they're doing, introducing us to a lot of their staff, explaining the different activities, and they were very, very prepared. I mean, I really thought 2.5 hours on Thursday afternoon, this is going to get kind of long, but it flew, and they could have kept going. They really could have kept going. Michelle did a great job of keeping us organized, informed on every change of venue or what we were doing, and we just appreciate it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm recommending everybody do it. And encourage you to be involved with our city in any way that you can, too. So it was great. Thank you all. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Mike Reed. I'm probably not going to be quite as cheery as Brenda was. I'm also running for city commissioner. First of all, thanks to the departments of Paducah City Government who gave us a peek inside their workings, and to Michelle Smolin, the able coordinator of the Citizens Academy. I came to the Academy exploring a run for Paducah City Commissioner after I encountered corruption in our local government and police. This is my first campaign for public office. I have no great desire for power or for the conflict that seeking office brings. I'm just a Christian hoping to help in restoring our scriptural foundations and the inviolability of each American's constitutional rights. I will be speaking bluntly on matters of injustice. I've always preferred to avoid making issues personal, but facts are facts. We've arrived at a time when justice must be put ahead of kindness so that kindness is not trampled by lawlessness. By God's grace, I pray our path leads to brighter days since, as Psalm 100 tells us, we are the sheep of his pasture. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. So help us God.
Mike, would you like to share with us one of the experiences from one of the days of Citizens Academy?
I didn't climb the ladder, but I enjoyed watching folks do it, and I enjoyed going down to the pump house and watching how they pump out the flood water and stuff, and seeing the garage, and it was pretty groovy. But you can tell I'm not terribly enthused about, I'm not gushing, in other words. I think Paducah needs some serious change, and so help us God, as I said at the end there.
So Brenda, I didn't ask you that question. Is there anything else that you would like to share, a particular experience? You climbed the ladder, good. Good. Are there any other graduates that would like to speak? I know that you all asked the 2 volunteers. Is there anyone else? As part of the class, yes.
Yes, he is. Step up.
Thank you. Number one, I want to thank the city for having this awesome course. It was great. It was very thorough overview, and the departments are very well managed. They're in good hands. I was very impressed with the information that we got and everything that we got to do and see. Yes, I climbed the ladder, and I didn't go all the way to the top like some of my classmates did, but it was a great time. It was a very good learning experience. It made me appreciate city government so much more, and our city government, and I loved finding out how all the departments work together and are in communication, and seem like they're doing a great job of the whole process of government, of city government. So I just want to thank everybody for having this course. Michelle did a bang-up job. She knocked it out of the park, keeping us organized, and as one of my fellow classmates said. And I just really appreciate the city doing this. It was great. I recommend it to anybody to be a part of this.
Thank you. We really appreciate that comment. So thank you to all of you for participating. Yeah, you all want to stand up, those of you. In fact, why don't you come up to the front so we can get a picture with the City Commission?
Yes, we do need to get a picture.
We'd like to do that.
I was going to say that we get to do this when we're first elected. We get to go tour all the departments. And I said after we completed the first time, everyone should get to do this. And they were like, funny story, we have the Citizens Academy. Although fire chief and police chief, I did not get to climb a ladder on my tour. So I'll be back. I also did not get to meet K-9 Jr. So fix it, chiefs.
We can come on up kind of closer together. So Pam, I don't know, can you get a picture for that? Yes.
I'll say my head.
Oh, we're pretty close.
You guys are going to squeeze this way.
We're going to squeeze this way.
Okay, tall guys get in the back.
Should be used to this.
And I've got everybody. 1, 2, 3.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Chief Kyle, you can just email me for good ladder climbing times. You have my email. Would you climb the ladder? You go climb the ladder?
Okay.
Probably not.
I just did natural bridge. That ladder don't seem like a cinch.
Thank you all
I've done that
again. We
before.
do have a lot more presentations and a lot more city business to take care of, so we appreciate those of you who are willing to stay. Our next presentation is from the Community Scholarship Program with West Kentucky Community and Technical College, and Lee Emmons, the Executive Director of Paducah Junior College.
Thank you. I really, tonight, just want to say thank you to the city for your continued participation in the Community Scholarship Program. In the past, you've gotten to hear from students and from the public school officials, as well as people from the college. And so you are probably somewhat intimately familiar with the program. But a couple of things that I want to mention about it is the importance of the private-public partnership that allows the Community Scholarship Program, which provides funding for high school graduates in Paducah and McCracken County to be able to attend college for 2 years with their tuition paid. The importance of that public-private partnership is really key to the program's success. And a bit unusual, I think, where not only the city government, the county government, Paducah Junior College, which is the foundation for West Kentucky, and then the college itself contribute, but our corporate citizens contribute, and private individuals contribute. And I feel like that is a real key for the program's success. Education affects everything in our community. It certainly affects employment, social issues, health and well-being of our citizens, economic development. And so I absolutely believe, and some of you have heard me say this before, with every fiber of my being, that education is the most important investment we can make. And I applaud the city government for the investment you make so that our young citizens, as they're coming through school locally, know that college is not out of the reach for them because of this community scholarship program that our city and our county can and should be proud of and boast about. It is a unique program, and we have received national recognition for having the program in place. It's a successful program. The model is working. CSP graduates are high achievers. They complete at higher rates, and that just speaks to the model that is working. Education is the best gift you can make, so although relatively small in the city's budget, the participation that you have in the program is a real key. We thank you, and we hope that you do plan to continue that and are able to continue that for years to come. Are there any questions about the program you would like to ask of me?
Well, I don't have any. I don't have any questions. Just a comment. When you talk about the people, the players that contribute to this very important college, our college, the county, city, corporate, and private, and then you talk about the success rate of those young folks that are participating. One of the other things is that for them to understand that these players, these individuals, are putting forth this so they can have that opportunity. A lot of times we look at things and like, are they really appreciative of what this means? And by those numbers that you have as far as their success rate, it shows that they do. And that's very important. I just want to applaud the city, the county, and all of those players that agree that, okay, we got a room full of people who all agree that education is very important. So everybody raises their hand, okay, let's start right there, that we agree on, and let's move forward. I just wish that a lot of other things could be, use that model to solve some issues when you have this many people from different areas participating and working on an issue that could impact our lives so seriously. So I applaud you guys for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anything else? Thank you, Lee.
Thank you
We really
very
appreciate you
much.
coming and spending time with us tonight, and congratulations on the great program. We're all very, very proud of it. And
Thank you.
it's definitely a check mark for us.
Thanks
So,
for the
thank you.
opportunity. Appreciate
By
it.
the way,
Yes.
is it the 8th grade? When do the kids get,
The 8th
Yeah.
grade,
Okay.
yes. So that's why we're always looking at a 6-year model so that we can let 8th graders know the
it's
program
coming.
is in existence. So they have the 4 years of high school and the 2 years of college. But 8th grade is when the program is promoted to the students and they're signed up.
And real quick, just for those that don't know the criteria.
The criteria are a graduating high school with a 2.5 or better GPA and having met certain behavior and attendance requirements, no serious behavior issues, and I think the attendance requirement is at least 95% attendance.
Right.
So the criteria are in place, and it was conceived by Rotary Club, Rotary of Paducah representatives, and city and county representatives, and then the college, and then high school officials. But the criteria are in place to very specifically not make it a program that's only for the highest achievers, or only for this group, or only for that group, but for those who meet some basic expectations to be eligible for the program. And some of you have heard before from our superintendents and our principals of the high schools that it is used as an incentive, and it is an incentive for students who may otherwise really struggle to meet some minimum requirements, or really struggle with behavior or attendance. Sometimes it's the students who have the motivation because they know they want to go to college, and sometimes it's their families who are saying, you need to meet these so that you can be eligible for this program.
Well, and I think it's the way the requirements are formulated. To me, I know it's a community scholarship program. That's definitely what it is and what we should call it. But that the way the requirements are formulated, to me, makes it more of a community investment, because it's not a merit-based scholarship or even an identity-based scholarship. This is a scholarship in which what we're saying is what's important to us is that you are a part of this community and that you meet these basic requirements. But really what this is about is that you are here present in our community, and we want to continue to invest in you so that you can continue to invest in our community. And I think that's why it's so powerful.
Exactly. The investment in education is absolutely an investment in our youth.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And next, the Paducah Area Transit System, Arthur Boykin, the Executive Director.
Thank you, Commissioner Pro Tem Wilson, Commissioners, and Acting City Manager Mark Thompson. Good afternoon. I'm here, happy to be here today to talk about public transportation in Paducah. My name, as said, is Arthur Boykin, and I serve as the Executive Director of Paducah Transit Authority. And we provide public transit service for Paducah, McCracken, Ballard, Marshall, and Northern Graves counties. Some of Paducah Transit Board members are here as well. I would like to recognize them, please. Mr. Derwin Urser, Mr. Mark Davis, and Mr. Patrick White. I think I saw Pat, back there. Those are three of the 8 board members in which you appoint to serve as the directors for Paducah Transit Authority. Quickly, I want to touch on 4 topics, if I might briefly. Public transit in Paducah, why public transit is important, how public transit is funded, and funding challenges and opportunities to expand services for the public transit here in Paducah. Created in January of 1980 and amended in 84, adding McCracken County, PATS, your Public Transit Authority, is a special purpose government entity with the mission of providing reasonable, dependable, and available transportation to residents and visitors of Paducah and McCracken County. Where you are to be commended as commissioners and for your insight and recognition and incorporation of the role that public transit plays in the economic development, job creation, education, attainment, and addressing environmental and social needs and the quality of life of Paducah and McCracken County. Public transit is an essential part of a strong economy. Employers depend on public transportation for access to jobs, and PATS has recently been in discussion with Carl Baker of Teletech in ways and means in which we can discuss how to improve, positively impact their employment practices. For many disabled and senior Paducahians, public transportation is a lifeline to freedom and independent living. Cost savings compared to owning and driving a car. Changes in demographics and energy resources also underscore the necessity of a strong public transportation system. Our population in Paducah is getting older and younger generations are driving less. And at the same time, energy sources are limited and rising in cost. Operating authority for Paducah Transit Authority that you created, we operate under a 5311, and that means that we are a small rural transit system. Previously, I would have told you that we were the only small transit system in the state. However, recently, Hopkinsville has implemented public transit as well. We operate in those 4 counties, and as well as the city. The authority that 5311 permits PATS to operate services in 4 areas: demand and response. And I'm not here to make you transit experts, neither am I an expert, but demand and response intercity, fixed route, and semi-fixed routes. And the opportunity and the challenge there is quite often we are given an opportunity or asked to do some transportation. It may be in support of the Quilt Week show, or it may be in support of transportation from the airport. And actually, that goes against our operating authority. We cannot serve or function as an on-call transit system. We are not allowed by our operating authorities to compete against for-profit companies. I was a little bit set back when we got some negative publicity that we didn't show up at Paducah Airport for quilters. As I say, we cannot function as an on-call service. It was not allowed. Now, I will tell you that we will push the envelope and we will push the borders, which we did. We went out the first night and no one wanted to board our vehicles. But to be there every night as an on-call goes against our operating authorities and could actually jeopardize your transit system. So I wanted an opportunity to express to the commissioners why that's not necessary, why some of the times we're limited in our scope and our abilities to do what you may ask of us, even whether that's in support of the Quilt Museum, Quilt Show. As you know, many years ago, we did all the service. But when a for-profit company steps in and says that they want that, we have no choice, no recourse, but to say we cannot do it. And that's just the bottom line for us. Our funding sources are essentially 4 avenues. We are funded by federal dollars. Our budget currently is $4.4 million, of which $2.2 million of that, roughly 50%, is federally funded. I thank you for your city support, because the $215,000 that you have given in the past to this agency is matched by federal dollars. I thank you for that. But the remainder of those funds have to be derived from program income or other avenues. The money, the government's $2.2 million is there for us once we raise the accompanying $2.2 million. So that becomes a challenge for us. Listening to some of the concerns of the citizens of Paducah about a year ago, we extended our service hours by 4 hours. We currently run from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Is there an opportunity to improve the service? Yes, there is. Are there citizens working to 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock? Yes, there are. The challenge for us then becomes, for every hour that we run a fixed route system, 1 hour of fixed route system running is the tune of $35,000 annually. So we have to justify our ridership with the cost factor. And we can only expand the services once we know that the dollars are there. And so that's my challenge, is that how do we expand our services not knowing what our defined dollars are? I understand that the city has, like everyone else, is in budget crunch. But I had to tell Teletech right not now, we need to find out what our funding sources are. One of the things that we cannot do is to make a commitment to the citizens that you're going to provide the transportation and then withdraw it. Even when we expanded it for the 4 hours, it took approximately 3 months for them to be assured that Pat was going to be out there at 7 o'clock in the morning and that we were going to be running to 7 p.m. in the afternoon. And so that's the challenge that we have before us. I don't know, we are unique, we are Paducah. But I would want to share with you what maybe similar cities of our size or our scope, their support for public transit is. You have Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I'm going to give some hard numbers here, and I want to take my time because Bowling Green, Kentucky support for public transit is $310,000. They operate Monday through Friday. Your transit authority operates Monday through Saturday. Their hours of operation are from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. those 5 days. Your transit authority again operates from 7 to 7. You have Henderson, Kentucky, whose city support for public transit is $684,000. They operate Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and they operate 4 routes. Your transit authority currently operates, I like to say 4.5 routes because we only run the trolley from April 1 to September 1. Hopkinsville, Kentucky, who was recently implemented, runs a Monday through Friday schedule from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. on a budget of $93,000 in terms of city support. Blow you out the water, Owensboro, Kentucky operates their transit authorities Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. and also on Saturdays from 8 to 7 on city support budget of $868,000. I'm here to say that as we explore the ways in which we can enhance public transportation, it's essential that we have a dedicated source of funding in order to meet the needs of expanding that service. And based upon what we're wanting to do, we hope that the city will see or at least investigate avenues in which to make a dedicated funding source for public transit here in the city of Paducah. Subject to your questions, that's my presentation to you.
I have a question. You said that we were the only rural system until Hopkinsville, so what are Bowling Green and Owensboro and?
Again, we are 5311. That's rural. They are at 5307. Their population is above 50,000.
Oh, okay.
So that's what that nomenclature means. If you're a small rural, you have a population less than 25,000. And we don't deal directly with FTA. And that becomes an opportunity or a challenge for us as well. Everything that we do has to be funneled from the Paducah Transit Authority through the state of Kentucky for their Office of Transportation and Delivery, then down to FTA. Those larger areas deal directly with FTA, but the state is our permitting organization as such.
Anyone else?
I'd just like to thank you for something.
Yes, sir.
I told you I would. Thank you for working with everyone concerned about moving the big yellow truck. And some of you all know what that means, and some of you all will not, but thank you for moving the big yellow truck.
You're welcome, sir.
I appreciate it. I really do.
Is it permanently moved?
Yes, it is
It
permanent.
seems to come back sometimes.
It is permanently moved.
Okay,
But
thank you.
you.
Appreciate that again. Commissioner Abraham, you have anything?
No.
Anyone else?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate
you.
you coming tonight and talking to us. Thank you.
Very impressive.
All right, we're going to move into resolutions, and looks like I'm going to read the first one. I move that a resolution entitled, "A Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Paducah, Kentucky relating to the issuance by the Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority of revenue bonds in order to refinance, among other things, costs incurred by Baptist Healthcare System, Inc. in constructing and acquiring certain hospital facilities in the city be adopted." Is there
Second.
a second?
Second.
Okay, and we have Michelle Hayden with Baptist Health here tonight, so welcome, and Beth Bird with attorney. So thank you all for being here. Do you have some comments you would like to make? Or?
We were just here in case you all had any questions or anything you need clarified regarding the resolution.
I know it's pretty standard procedure for you to be here every year,
Yes.
so thank you all.
Thank you.
Commissioner, anybody? Okay, thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. I move that a resolution entitled, "A Resolution Authorizing the City Engineer, Public Works Director to execute documents for and on behalf of the City of Paducah to apply for financial assistance through the Federal Emergency Management Agency related to the 2018 flood and severe weather events" be adopted.
Second.
Rick? Anyone have any questions? It's pretty standard as well.
It's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know that I could add anything to that, even though we'll be working with FEMA, over the next several years. We just closed out the 2011 flood, so it takes a little while to do this.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. So next will be the consent agenda. Does anyone have any item that they would like removed from the consent agenda? Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the Board of Commissioners and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. If there is nothing, the city clerk will read the items recommended for approval.
Minutes for the May 29, 2018 City Commission meeting. Receive and file documents. Personnel actions. A municipal order accepting the bid of Randall and Carolyn Lofton in the amount of $51.50 plus recording and deed preparation fees for real property located at 2315 Powell Street, and authorizing the mayor to execute a deed and all other documents necessary to complete the sale. A municipal order authorizing the application for a 2018 Community Development Block Grant in the amount of $220,000 from the Office of the Governor's Department for Local Government for the Four Rivers Recovery Center Point project. A municipal order authorizing the purchase of 2 replacement Cisco Model 3850 switches from CDW Government in the amount of $25,661.20 for the Information Systems Office. A municipal order authorizing and directing the finance director to make payment to Sunny Communications in an amount of $39,709 for reconditioned radios and accessories for the Paducah Fire Department. A municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with the Paducah-McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau for $25,000 for specific services related to the American Quilter Society show.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve those. I guess, is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. Okay, we'll move into municipal orders. Commissioner Abraham, please.
I move that a municipal order approving the advertisement for bid and distribution of a primary official statement for the purchase of City of Paducah, Kentucky General Obligation Bond Series 2018A and City of Paducah, Kentucky General Obligation Refunding Bonds Series 2018B in aggregate principal amount of approximately $2,910,000 and $2,845,000 respectively be adopted.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. Commissioner Holland, please.
I move that a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Authorizing the Mayor to Execute a Professional Services Agreement with Commonwealth Economics Partners, LLC in an amount not to exceed $78,000 for the Tax Increment Financing Program and development of a Build Grant Application Benefit Cost Analysis for the Paducah Riverfront Development Project" be adopted.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. Commissioner Holland, I have you for the next one as well.
I move that a municipal order entitled a municipal order accepting matching grant funds through the Kentucky Division of Waste Management for a 2018-2019 household hazardous waste grant for funding for the annual city-county cleanup day and authorizing the mayor to execute the grant agreement and an interlocal agreement with McCracken County for said grant be adopted.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. Commissioner Rhodes, we're going to move into the ordinances for adoption.
All right.
First one.
I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an amendment to the agreement with Tyler Technologies for a license of software and the procurement of related products and services. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The City Commission hereby approves the amendment in the amount of $22,950 to the original agreement with Tyler Technologies and authorizes the mayor to execute said amendment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those, you will call the roll, please?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. Commissioner Abraham, ordinance for introduction.
I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance approving the sale and transfer of municipal-owned surplus real property located near the intersection of Old Mayfield Road and Hauser Road, and authorizing the execution of a general warranty deed. This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance approved the sale and transfer of the subject surplus property on behalf of Paducah Water to Howerton Properties, LLC, a Kentucky limited liability company, for the total consideration of $190,732.30 with the sum of $173,393 of the sale proceeds to be deposited into the general fund account of Paducah Water and $17,339.30 be paid to Robert Alexander Real Estate and Auction Company for Paducah, Kentucky as the buyer, premium, and authorizes the mayor of the city of Paducah to execute a general warranty deed of conveyance.
Second.
Jason Peterson with Paducah Water Works is here with us. If we have any questions or you have any additional thoughts you want to add about it?
We are satisfied with the sale, and we think for this particular issue, public sale at absolute auction was a good choice, and we would like to thank the commission for their support.
Any other questions?
The board was happy with the sale, how it went.
Good.
The Waterworks Board.
Okay. Thank you. We appreciate you being here. We
Thank
won't
you.
vote on that tonight. It'll be the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Holland, you have the next one, and it looks like it's a really long one.
Y'all get ready. I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the City of Paducah, Kentucky authorizing the issuance of City of Paducah, Kentucky General Obligation Bond Series 2018A in the approximate aggregate principal amount of $2,910,000, subject to a permitted adjustment increasing or decreasing the principal amount of Series 2018A bonds up to $290,000 for the purpose of financing a portion of the cost of the construction of riverfront improvements and the acquisition of 9/11 equipment, and City of Paducah, Kentucky General Obligation Refunding Bond Series 2018B in the approximate aggregate principal amount of $2,845,000, subject to a permitted adjustment increasing or decreasing the principal amount of Series 2018B bonds by up to $285,000 for the purpose of currently refunding a general obligation lease agreement dated March 2nd, 2009 between the city and the Kentucky League of Cities Funding Trust, and a lease agreement dated July 1st, 2003 between the city and the Kentucky League of Cities Funding Trust, the proceeds of which in turn funded the cost of various public improvements within the city, approving the forms of bonds, authorizing designated officers to execute and deliver the bonds, authorizing and directing the filing of notice with the state local debt officer, providing for the payment and security of the bonds, creating bond payment funds, maintaining the heretofore established sinking fund, authorizing acceptance of the bids of the bonds purchasers for the purchase of the bonds, and repealing inconsistent ordinances. This ordinance authorizes the issuance of general obligation bonds designated as Series 2018A in the approximate principal amount of $2,910,000 of Series 2018 bonds, and general obligation refunding bonds designated as Series 2018B in the approximate principal amount of $2,845,000. The Series 2018B bonds, and together with the Series 2018 2018A bonds, the bonds by the City of Paducah, Kentucky, the city. The Series 2018 bonds are to be issued for the purpose of financing the cost of improvements to the city's riverfront and acquiring and installing 9/11 equipment. The Series 2018 bonds are to be issued for the purpose of currently refunding 2 outstanding general obligation leases with the Kentucky League of Cities Funding Trust, the proceeds of which were used to finance various public improvements throughout the city. Provisions are made in the ordinance for the payment of the bonds and the security therefore for the application of the proceeds of the bonds for the establishment of the bond payment funds for the maintenance of the previously established sinking fund and for certain covenants of the city with respect to the bonds. The bonds are to be sold at public competitive sale and shall mature or be subject to mandatory sinking fund redemption in varying amounts on February 1st, 2019 and each August thereafter through August 1st, 2033. The bonds pledge the full faith and credit of the city, and provision is made for the collection of tax to pay the principal of and interest of the bonds subject to certain credits as provided in Section 8 of the ordinance as required by KRS 83A.060. The following Section 7 of the ordinance is set forth in its entirety. Section 7, General Obligation. The bond shall be full general obligations of the city, and for the payment of said bonds and the interest thereon, the full faith, credit, and revenue of the city are hereby pledged for the prompt payment thereof. During the period the bonds are outstanding, there shall be and there hereby is levied on all taxable property in the city, in addition of all their taxes without limitation as to rate, a direct tax annually in an amount sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds when and as due, it being hereby found and determined that current tax rates are within all applicable limitations. Said tax shall be and is hereby ordered, computed, certified, levied, and extended upon the tax duplicate and collected by the same officers in the same manner and at the same time that taxes for general purposes for each of said years are certified, extended, and collected. Said tax shall be placed before and in preference to all other items for the full amount thereof, provided, however, that in each year, to the extent that the other lawfully available funds of the city are available for the payments of the bonds and are appropriated for such purpose, the amount of such direct tax upon all of the taxable property in the city shall be reduced by the amount of such other funds so available and appropriated.
Second, and still speed reading champ.
Good job. So, Jonathan, you want to tell us what she just read?
That was a good commercial. I like that. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, and City Manager. In just as few words as possible, what we're going to do is we're going to borrow just shy of $3 million to buy E911 equipment and to pay ourselves back on what we did at the riverfront. And then we're going to actually take advantage of the market right now. We have a couple of bonds that we've had out since 2003 and 2009. We're going to lock them in at current rates because we think the rates are going to go up. And that's basically what we're going to do. And I also brought along with me Mark Rawlings with Hillard Lyons. If you have any specific questions, math questions, Mark is here to address those too if you have a question.
Anyone have anything?
No,
We talk. I'm good.
Okay, thank you very much. Commissioner Rhodes, you have the next one about the budget.
Not quite as long, but has a lot of digits. You ready? I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting the City of Paducah, Kentucky annual operating budget for the fiscal year July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of the city government. This ordinance is summarized as follows. Adopting the city annual budget for fiscal July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriating funds for the operation of the city at $72,206,035 and summarized by fund as follows. General fund, $35,343,845. The MAP, which is mutual aid, is $1,554,750. The investment fund is $5,820,985. CDBG, Community Development Block Grant, $250,000. E911 is $2,001,830. Court awards, $40,750. Debt, $3,756,330. CIP, $2,768,500. Bond fund, $4,215,400. Solid waste, $5,846,295. Section 8, $189,320. Transient boat dock, $141,780. Civic Center, $109,275. Rental, $132,200. Radio depreciation, $38,700. Fleet, $605,795. Fleet trust, $2,973,000 even. Insurance, $1,402,650. Health insurance, $33,795,000 even. AEPF, $14,475. PFPF, $1,125,855. Other trust, $79,300, for a grand total of $72,206,035.
Second.
In my house, we don't have quite those big numbers, so I had to think about it.
Jonathan, do you have any comments you want to make?
I don't really have any other than to remind you all that we talked about this at length on May the 14th and May the 23rd. And as you recall, at the May 23rd meeting, we spent a lot of quality time changing some things. And other than that, everything you all asked for us to do, we've done it. And the budget is balanced. I know you've got some notes to talk about that, but I know everybody's always concerned about us making sure everything was balanced, and it is.
Thank you.
And
I do have.
And there was an excellent cover letter. I thought that Mark did an excellent cover letter delineating the budget. I'm sure you probably had a hand in that somewhere, no doubt.
He wrote it. He wrote
so,
it.
Good job. And it is very readable. And
it is.
Obviously, we don't look at these numbers every day like you do.
And there is one thing I would like to add. Once this gets passed on the 26th, then the entire budget book, along with the detail accounts, will be out on our website. So everything is out there. You'll be able to see it all.
And how many years can you go back? What is it, probably
10? Something like that. I forget.
A long time.
Long time, yeah.
Well, I do have a few comments I wanted to make. We do have a balanced budget, and thank you for that. It looks like we have an anticipated increase of about $800,000 in the fiscal year 19 general fund. In Mark Thompson's letter to us, I wanted to read, he said, key in the development of this budget is the work of city staff at all levels, contributing energy and ideas. So on behalf of the commission, we want to thank you, Mark, as our interim city manager, for all the work you've done on it, Jonathan, for all of your work, and for all of the department heads that have had a big part in putting together our budget. As a commission with the department heads and employees, we spent a lot of hours working on it in May. At the same time, we were spending a lot of time working on the city manager search, and we got to, spend lots and lots of time together. And we should all be very proud of the work we've done in both areas. I think with the city manager search and now with the budget, it really has been things that came together very well.
It was a very difficult spring.
Yes.
And there was a lot of anxiety by department heads and employees and commissioners and mayors. I mean, it's been my most difficult spring in my short stint.
We knew we were going to be facing increased pension cost. At one point, we were facing an increased cost of over $2.4 million, and we are thankful that the pension costs are going to be phased in instead of hitting us all at one time. But still, for the fiscal year 19 budget, it's over $450,000 in increased pension costs that will be coming out of our budget. So we had to plan for that, and you all have done a really good job in doing that. Our general fund for fiscal year 19 is anticipated at $35.3 million. Again, I said about up $800,000. I want to make sure that the general fund has 4 major sources of revenue: the payroll tax, the property tax, insurance premium tax, and business license. And I think it's important that the people of our community know those are our 4 sources of revenue. We do not get any funding from sales tax and other consumption taxes. And we hear that all the time. Well, if more people come into our community, they stay in our hotels, they shop, that we get more money from that. And we do not get any of that sales tax. It all goes to the state. It's great for our economy. We welcome them. We want them to be in our community, but it's not a funding source for city government. And as a second-class city, we're not allowed to even consider some other sources of funding, like a restaurant tax or anything like that. So we have to plan from the 4 primary sources that we get. I know in the budget letter you talked about there will be an appointment of 4 new ad hoc fact-finding committees. Each one will be led with 2 city commissioners on it, supported by city staff, and those are really to get us prepared in 2019, looking forward to 2020 when we will be hit again with increased pension cost. And those are going to include facility use and maintenance, vehicle use and maintenance, outside agency funding, and revenue sources. So some of the highlights from our budget include, and I'm going to just hit on those and you guys chime in. We did allot money for a Parks Master Plan update. We really want to determine what we could do, what we should be considering doing, how we could pay for it, what the potential costs would be, and most of all, what the community wants and what the community is willing to pay for. Neighborhood investment. We have set aside new funds for the Midtown Alliance and the Planning Department to be working together to develop a plan and invest in our local neighborhoods. And we're really excited about that. We've been so happy with the work by the Midtown Alliance over the years, and they've operated on just a very, very small budget. We have increased their budget significantly, and I see Tamara nodding in the back. We're really excited about the work that will continue with Midtown Alliance on that and developing our neighborhoods. Demolitions. As much as we don't want to spend money on demolitions, this will allow us to work in some blighted areas and help prepare them for future development. So we did set aside quite a bit more money for demolitions in 2019. Downtown incentives, you hear all the time that downtown is kind of the heart of our community. We want to continue. We've been setting aside grants for roof replacement, the facades, upper storing living, the business grants to help some new businesses that might want to locate downtown, the TIF, which we've approved earlier tonight, which we'll be working on development here, and some more signage, which we just completed with the grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. So that will be some more funding for that area. We're also putting more investments for sidewalks, streets, curbs, and gutters. And engineering and the street department of planning will be developing that plan, and it's a little less than $1 million, about $850,000, but I'm excited about that money being set aside for that. We are continuing our ongoing funds to Paducah Economic Development for $250,000. The local arts groups at $115,000. We did approve the community scholarship program that was mentioned tonight. I think that's, I'm not sure exactly, $125,000. PATS, we did include them in our budget at $215,000. There may be some others that I'm not mentioning, but those are some of the highlights I wanted to talk about tonight. Also, funds for long-term maintenance of city properties. I think for many, many years we may have neglected some of that, and so we have set aside funds for that. Those new committees, one of those will be studying our city-owned facilities and trying to determine, do we really need to own all the buildings that we currently own? We're covering $2 million in debt service on all of the bonds that we have that have been on projects throughout the many years, including Murray State and a lot of others, Convention Center, Expo Center, and all that. And we're doing all of that. We haven't had to lay off any city employees. We'll be closely reviewing each new position as we hire them. We have our new city manager, Jim Art, starting July 1st. We have our strategic plan in place that we'll be continuing to develop and finalizing this fall. There are a lot of challenges, but a lot of great opportunities ahead of us. So I hope that we all celebrate. We've done, a lot of work to get this ready and on time to adopt it. So thank you, everybody, for your lead, and I open it up to the floor for you all if you want to make some more comments.
Just the scope of everything you just said, it's a lot of moving parts, and it takes cooperation and compromise and moving things where it needs to be. And we also, when you have money going out to different agencies, it's important that there is a level of accountability for that. We'll address those things as well. So it was a challenging stretch, but I think we were up for it.
Thank you. I think we did expect accountability from the ones that we are giving funding to, so thank you for mentioning that.
I just wanted to say, yeah, I agree. It was one of the most challenging, but one of the most rewarding experiences I've had on the commission so far in my first term. We had a surplus. We had a lot of money to decide where the priorities of this commission were. And what I was most proud of is that it was a conversation. It wasn't just, this is what the city staff and the mayor have presented, but what does the commission think? And we had a conversation about that planning with regards to sidewalk plans and park master plans are important, but that we also need to make sure we have an impact on the ground with the citizens of Paducah right now. And that's why we doubled the demolition fund. Hopefully many people around Paducah and their neighborhoods will see the impact of that sooner rather than later. That's something I heard a lot into demoing buildings so that something new can grow in these neighborhoods that need to have something old torn down. Also, Commissioner Wilson had a brilliant idea when we were talking about how can we see the impact of this money right now beyond just plans, and we gave, as she discussed, more money to Midtown Alliance. And what I want to make sure and say about that is that Midtown Alliance was formed and worked primarily in the Fountain Avenue neighborhood. And what we've talked about moving forward is that this commission wants to give a priority to empowering all of Paducah and not selecting specific neighborhoods for projects, which have been successful, and we don't want to take anything away from those projects. They've been amazing. But Midtown Alliance, while it began there, its geographic area will be able to expand dramatically across the city. They have really learned what they're doing in the Fountain Avenue project. They have done so much with so little, and I cannot wait to see what they can do across the city now that they've been given bigger financial resources. And I think that's something that the people and the neighborhoods across the town will see the impact of immediately. So I'm really excited about the way that we discussed and sort of had an ongoing conversation about the priorities of the commission. I'm really excited about how the list and how the priorities shook out in the end after many, many hours of budget sessions. I think that the people of Paducah and their infinite wisdom put a lot of different people on this commission, and they were served very well by all those different perspectives at the table during these budget sessions, and I can't wait to see the impact.
Commissioner Rhodes?
I'm good.
All right. I didn't mention we also set aside money for bike path development. That was something that we heard a lot about. So yes, good to hear that from out the crowd. Yes. So I forgot to mention that. And I will just say, if someone's listening and we didn't mention a specific organization or a specific set aside, that doesn't mean it's not in the budget. I just really wanted to highlight some of the main things that we talked about, some of the new projects and some of the new funding and new programs that we were wanting to look to. So that's the reason why I pulled some of those out for tonight. And I also want to mention from your letter to us, I just want to read this part. I want to thank the department heads and associated staff for their diligence and resourcefulness in determining the best use for the city's financial resources, given the responsibilities, demands, and priorities of the citizenry. So thank you, Mark, for voicing that, and I hope all city employees will see that and share that and know about it. So we will vote on the budget in 2 weeks, the final plan. So thank you again. Comments from the city manager?
Again, this has been a great time for us as directors, that you entrusted us with a burden that was not too hard for us to carry. I mean, it was big, but the staff and the staff in the city are terrific group that I think you've entrusted, and I think we're going to entrust several more years with. And I'm really proud of them and the work that they've done. I can't say it too often, and I appreciate y'all's recognition of that fact. I'm honored to have served in this position as well. And so I look forward to getting down to brass tacks with our committees, making sure that we come out with the best plan for Paducah in the future. We've got a lot of things coming up. You've got the 4th of July coming up. I think there's going to be some guy who's going to be singing the national anthem, who's done well for us for several years, who's going to be doing that. That we are going to have the 4th of July celebration on the 4th of July, as usual. So those are just things that we've got coming up, with a lot of things going on.
Is it the same fireworks people as last year?
Same fireworks people as last year.
It was so good last year.
So Commissioner Holland and I want to speak, as we did last time. Yeah. We got to do the joint welcome, and then
we had a good time.
We've got some things planned, and I think it's going to be another grand celebration coming up, and looking forward to that coming up here on July the 4th. So, and solving the budget issues for the next year.
I just got something. Ed Sanders called me and said that there'll be a flag ceremony Friday at the Elks Club on 4th Street, and a ceremony to retire American flags. And it starts between 6 and 6:30, and again, it's at the Elks Club, and it's to retire American flags, the ceremony.
So a place to take your American flag when you're ready. Okay, good. Any other city commissioner?
When is that again?
It's 6 o'clock
Friday.
This coming Friday at the Elks Club on 4th Street.
Any other city commissioner comments? I don't think we had any from the audience, did we?
I've looked in the basket.
Okay. I know we do have an executive session. Who has that motion?
I have it.
Commissioner
I
Abraham.
move that the Board of Commission go into closed session for discussion of matters pertaining to the following topic: a specific proposal by a business entity where public discussion for the subject matter would jeopardize the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a business entity as permitted by KRS 61.8101G.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Holland?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Wilson?
Aye. We will be coming out, but we will not be taking any action when we come back out of the executive session. So thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it.